Hi everyone, this is Stephen Kelsey and Amrita. Welcome to our final project presentation of the InStyle case study. We decided to make our wiki using Weebly, and we organized it according to the different components of our project, such as requirements, use cases, and diagrams. We decided to do this at the outset of our project in order to help us stay on track and provide a general outline of what the final product should be. For each task relating to the component, we added a little description to make sure we understood it correctly. Our approach to this project largely centered around teamwork and collaboration. We met at least twice a week for 1 to 1.5 hours each throughout the semester and for our work on a shared Google Doc. When we couldn't meet in person, we would use Skype during our time together. We opted to use Weebly for our wiki since each of us was familiar with it. However, this ended up being a subpar experience since Weebly is rather slow and buggy. Moreover, it doesn't have support for simultaneous editors. In order to make all our diagrams, we use Lucidchart. This is another tool we were familiar with and it worked great overall. Lucidchart has all the tools we needed and made it easy to work on diagrams together. We also use FreeCamp as our project management tool since our professor recommended it. Now let's take a look at our wiki.
Welcome to the homepage of our InStyle case study website. As you can see, we organized our website by the different types of tasks that a business analyst would have to do. So we have requirements, use cases, diagrams, and any miscellaneous items. If you scroll down, you can see that we have a little bit about how to use the website so that people looking at our site will be able to get the most value out of it. So now if we move on to our requirements page, we organized all of our requirements kind of chronologically based on how to start off all the way until the stakeholders sign off. So we can look at elicitation really quickly and see that we sent out a form to potential end users asking about their current behaviors and what they would want out of a product. We also had a theoretical unstructured interview with Michelle, the primary stakeholder of this entire project, to have a better understanding of what's wanted out of the product. And then after elicitation, you can make functional and non-functional requirements. As you can see, we have both types and we organize them having unique identifiers so that we can easily refer to them later on. After we write out our requirements, you have the ability to prioritize them using some different example methods. So we started off with time boxing, which assumes an iterative approach where before each iteration, stakeholders sit down and decide which are the most important requirements to be implemented during the iteration. So as an example, we went ahead and did batches of requirements for 7 iterations until all of our requirements would have been implemented. We also made a prioritization matrix, which sets requirements based on their business value versus their schedule priority. So requirements that are up here in the upper left corner are going to be the most important ones to implement. After we're done prioritizing our requirements, you can do a stakeholder sign-off, just making sure that potential end users and other stakeholders are okay with the requirements that you've made and prioritized so far. So we sent out another survey to our stakeholders that asked them to kind of approve or disapprove of each requirement and its priority that we have. And that's pretty much the end of the requirements portion of our wiki.
For use cases, we began by looking at user stories and our use case catalog that allowed us to map out what our use cases would be and what were some of the most important ones. We made use case narratives for the following use cases: place product order, return product, levy late fee, check shoe availability, and display shoe information. We thought these were the most important use cases to feature in narratives because they are essential to the functionality of the InStyle product. These narratives flesh out the important details and would allow developers to see the exact specifications of those use cases. After we list all of our use cases, we display a prioritization matrix that allows developers to understand in what order to implement. For diagrams, we have our work breakdown structure, which details our deliverable-oriented structure for the project, which helped us plan our group organization. Underneath that, we start to get into our use case diagram and activity diagrams. Our use case diagram features the main use cases between users of the InStyle web application and the administrators on the back end of our product. We also made complex activity diagrams for use cases that we made narratives for. It is important for developers to fully understand the mechanisms behind our more complicated use cases. Underneath those, we have our class diagrams and state diagrams. Our items class diagrams details information about a single product featured on the catalog, its availability, and whether or not the product is linked to one or more orders. Our orders diagram breaks down a customer order, including information about the order status, customer payment, and any return service. Finally, our state diagrams illustrate the states of an order and a return because they are dynamic and developers need to understand the complexities around both of them. On our Miscellaneous tab, we feature two comprehensive risk catalogs, one for our team and one for the project in general. We list a business rule catalog as well, a data dictionary for the development team, and our system architecture, and eventually a theoretical ROI calculation. Our system architecture shows how the customer and product databases would interact with a back-end application, and then its interaction with both the proposed mobile and web applications.
Now our UI mockup for the website. Next up, we have our beautiful UI mockup. So if you go to the homepage, you can see we have buttons to look at your account, to search, look at your shopping cart. We have a menu button over here that allows you to look at some other information about the site. Now if you scroll down, you get a sneak preview of the InStyle catalog. So here we have the new arrivals, and down here we have the favorite shoes rented by customers. And then all the way at the bottom, we have some instructions detailing how the InStyle website works in the rental process. Now if you go back up and say click on this menu, you get taken to this view, which allows you to click on the page you want to go on and also list some other information down here. Now let's say you want to search for a shoe. You go back and click on the search button over here and get taken to this view, which allows you to enter in a couple keywords and the search engine will try and find the best match. And if you click on a product, it takes you to this page, which shows you all the important information you need, such as the brand, the name of the shoe, the amount you can rent it for, and the price you can find it at retail. And we also have two buttons over here, one to add to your cart, one to rent it now if you just want to rent this shoe right away. And if you click the select size drop down, the view will expand and you can see all the available sizes and their respective stock. Over here we have our shopping cart, which shows you all the shoes you're currently trying to rent and the product details and whether or not they're still in stock. And we have the order summary here, which shows you the total price of everything in your cart and the estimated price of shipping. Then when you're ready to check out, you would click this button and you see something like this, where you could provide your payment information and the address you want to ship it to. And on the right side, you can see all the shoes you're trying to rent and the total price. For some closing thoughts, we all had a great time working together, and I feel that our teamwork is definitely the strongest point of the project. Some things we could have improved on would be researching different tools before choosing one, and making greater use of our project management tool. We definitely could have found a better alternative to Weebly, and updated our tasks on FreeCamp more frequently. That's about it for our presentation. Hope you enjoyed.